spending the time with us. The intention today is to be able to share as much experience between Marvin and I on facing the issues that we are at the moment going through. And hopefully we can help you come through this session with a stronger belief on what to do and a clear direction how we can actually face the new challenge and what we call is the new economy. So just a quick intro. My name is Daniel Tumiwa, and I focus on helping leaders, companies. My intention and always my energy is to inspire and to excite business leaders and teams so they can think beyond, they can keep disrupting themselves, they can play an infinite game, and so that everyone becomes a better, safer, more enabled and more powerful ecosystem and environment. This is my family, and that's why that's my why, what I'm doing, enjoying it very much. And today is very special as well because hopefully we can share as much as possible through this discussion over this video call. Both Marvin and I support the global goals, sustainable development goals, and we both have the same. I'll let Marvin touch on that a little bit. And as we move forward, just a little bit of my background as well. Some 2-year itches I've had in my previous professional life, but I'm at the moment for the last 2.5, 3 years been focusing as a business coach, and I specialize and focus on employee engagement, corporate culture, and I dive deep into digital transformation as well, from Engage and Grow, and I get opportunities to do this as well with the government as I represent Udemy for government in Indonesia. So I'm moving on to Marvin. Would you like to introduce yourself, Marvin? Oh, that's too bad. We're having problems as well, Marvin. They can't be hearing you, and I'm checking on the chat. Shall I introduce you? Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for the feedback. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to try to switch off my mic, and Marvin, you should be able to, can you test your mic? All right, Sambil, I think Marvin will reconnect and try to reconfigure. I don't want to jump in and steal his thunder in introducing himself. So I think he will log in again. As you see, he's left the room. So I'll just skip a few slides forward and let him introduce himself a bit later, because a lot of things that he's done, which for me, Marvin is a mentor and a good friend. And of course, many of you here as well know him as the Kepala Sekolah and the owner of a school di Kemang. And that's where our children started to learn great values and has also inspired us as parents. So the idea here today is for us, the session today is for us to build a plan for recovery and return. We don't know yet when this whole pandemic will end, but the spirit is it will end, and how to use this time of trouble to start build confidence, to regroup, and to shed some light on how we think and based on our experience, things that can be done to actually help each other out and give experience, as much experience as possible. So there's 3 things that we want to do today. Before I go to that, the first one is to see and to measure which modes we are in. The 3 modes for business right now. We've seen and we've talked to many of our friends that Some of you may be in survival mode, some of you may be in thrive mode, and some of you may be in rebound mode. Well, whichever it is, I think it's a perfect time right now to reset. I think the word surfacing right now is reset. Bagaimana caranya kita regroup, melihat apa yang kita miliki, peluang yang ada, dan bagaimana cara kita menghadapi ini. Jadi, which one are you in? Regardless of the situation right now, I think everybody is still confused. Everybody is still, at times as leaders, feeling extremely scared and fearful. We also as coaches also feel the same thing. I'm sure many of us are in a situation where things are being pending, things are being held back. But the idea is like this, for example, to give back and to help as many people from what we have learned in the past. So even though you are in survival, thriving, or rebound mode, there are a few things that are very important that we need to hold on to and have clarity so that we have something to look forward to and hold on to as we start to work with our teams, right? Now, what we have been working on for the last year or so is the ability to get clarity on issues that are what we call the 5 building blocks or the 5 disciplines in running a business. This is, from the start, is how we actually approach, in times like this, our strategy, our mission, our execution, our people, and business development as well. So it sometimes may sound that, hey, business development at the situation like this is not relevant. True, but actually, we've seen a lot of new peluang, opportunities, where we can actually look at how business development can change. And that also affects the strategy. And of course, how we actually have connect with our team and the community when we cross over to mission. Yeah. Just checking. Are you there, Marvin? You just speak if you're there anyway. And mission, if you look at this and go back to business development, strategy, and mission, you can see that they cross over. When you look at business development and strategy, that basically is the building block of the company. When you cross over from strategy to mission, you look at what builds and your relationship, where your strength comes from, which is the community. When you look at mission and execution, this is where the crossover is the stakeholders, right? And the other part of the discipline is how we actually, as leaders, understand very deeply on how we manage people and how we lead people. It all crosses over into how well the team goes. And if you look at the screen and where people and business development cross over, that's where we are out-facing, and that's where we talk about the customers. So we believe these 5 disciplines, interconnected, harmoniously managed, harmoniously planned and scheduled and strategized, is what we actually call this concept adding zeros. So adding zeros, as the name of adding zeros itself, the idea is every touch point of strategy, mission, execution, people, and business development, where do we actually really focus and find clarity so that every touch point, every action, every behavior that the organization does, it ends up to a very clear mission that adds zeros to your bottom line. That's what we're looking at right now. So leadership and management, discipline, which is needed right now, and the opportunity to learn more are the 3 topics that we're going to be covering today. As the whole intention to actually run this program is to give you a feel of what we believe are the things that can be easily used in times like this, right? We will also be sharing some information with you because this seminar is actually a lead up to a few options that you can participate. You can sign up to a one-on-one clarity discussion between Marvin and I, so we can actually see and assess where you are right now and give feedback. And we'll give you some information because next week we're also setting up a 3-day workshop with all the 5 disciplines. The 3-day workshops will all be done through online, and we'll share that information with you as we go along on this webinar as well. All right. So number 1, as I touched on, the opportunities to learn more. We will be setting up a free Saturday session. And then in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week will be our planning session. We'll go detail down to each discipline. We'll handhold and plan and create your 2020 rest of the year plan, including 2021 as well, because everything has gone haywire and everything has changed. So we would like to help you reset everything and move forward with that. Okay. Are you there,
Daniel, can you hear me?
Yay!
All right.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks, Mark.
Sorry for that.
There's only
back.
one part. There's only one part that I skipped, which is your introduction, actually.
Okay. That's okay. So I'm assuming a lot of people already kind of know me.
Iya, kamu kan bintangnya, jadi bisa
Bagi yang belum
pede aja.
kenal, nama saya Marvin, and really what I do is I work with CEOs and leaders to help them lead and manage their companies better so that they can create a positive contribution. So apapun yang saya lakukan, it's really about education. It's really about helping people achieve what they want to achieve. Then why is that? I want them all to be surrounded with smiles. And I believe by making people into better leaders, better managers, you can create more smiles in your workplace. So speaking of leaders and managers, sekarang kita akan masuk ke why we need leadership and management now, and what is the difference between leadership and management. So let me just very quickly go to my slide navigation.
Okay.
So we see leadership as creating focus and passionate people, whereas we see management as about creating competent and productive people. And I'm sure, Dan, you've seen this as well, where sometimes the term gets used interchangeably, right, in companies. And what we feel is they're two very different disciplines, and they're two things that is very, very much needed right now. Anything to add to that, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, we always are in a situation where leaders are still blur on what is leadership, what is management. I think we always kind of joke if we go to a meeting, or we go show up to work. I don't think anybody shows up and says, "Morning, Pak, manage me." Right? It's always about "Good morning, Pak. Good morning, Bu." We talk about "Please lead me." And I think these are the two very important things that we need to separate as times like this. And leadership is the one which is clearly needed at the moment. Yeah.
All right. So let's go again into a deeper understanding of what the terms actually mean. So when we say, leadership, it is about creating positive emotion. Leadership is about touching the heart of the team. Yeah, so we believe companies, as is any organization, is like a living organism where they have the heart and the brain being the two most important organs. And the heart is really about behaviors, it's about relationships, it's about leadership. And the brain is about logic, it's about processes, it's about management. So when we look at management, it is about the logic and the results that we get. So given that I've seen the results of the poll, I was watching even though I couldn't hear you guys. 71% of you guys are in the survival mode. 17% is on the thrive. And then 10% of you is on the rebound. So you're going to need both of these things, especially on the survive mode. You're going to need super management and extreme leadership. On the thrive, the leadership is there. The management is going to be very important. On the rebound, again, clarity on the future and making sure people are moving would be a key thing for you. So as we go into leadership now, there's 4 things, Dan, that I want to share today that I think would be relevant for everyone. And feel free to jump in with any stories on these ones here. So the first key thing is communication. So both Daniel and I have been doing quite a bit of, obviously working with our clients during this period, but we've also been doing a lot of pro bono coaching sessions. I don't know about you, Dan, but with me, they all say that they've been communicating a lot.
Yeah.
Right. But and they always complain about how many Zoom meetings they have back to back throughout the whole day and everything. But when I ask them, how long does each meeting last? The answer would mostly be, it depends, usually more than an hour. And I ask them, do they have a schedule for these communications? Most of them say they don't.
No. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So the kind of communication that we mean here is a scheduled communication. It's about creating a communication rhythm in the company, but also about making sure that two things happen. Number one, you get your message across as a leader, but also listening to the concerns of the people. Right now, the
Yeah.
team have a lot of concerns because they've been put through change, right? I'm sure with the executives that you've spoken with, a lot of them have been thrown into a completely different environment and struggling to manage it as well, right, Dan?
Yeah. And as it comes out and speaking more and more to friends who are running business as well, they just realize that they have been trying to run and communicate with the teams as if business is as usual, but that quickly comes back and like the guys say, "What? I mean, what are you trying to say?" And the leaders actually hit a wall and say, "What am I supposed to do?" So that actually goes back to something that I think both of us will share as we go through the points here on how to be really, we touch on being honest.
Yeah. So again, on this communication is about, saying what you need to say and actually letting other people say what they need to say, making sure they feel heard. A key thing here is to make sure everyone gets equal voice opportunity. So the next thing is about teaching others how to think. Great leaders ask great questions. So this is the time when people are coming to you because of uncertainty. They're not sure what they need to do next. You need to be able to come in with great questions ya. Jadi maaf nih banyak lupa pakai bahasa Inggrisnya kebanyakan. Kita pengen campur-campur dikit. So jadi kita ingin memastikan sebagai pemimpin peran kita adalah membantu mereka melihat perspektif-perspektif yang berbeda melalui pertanyaan kita. So lebih sering berlatih kemampuan bertanyaan, ini akan jauh membantu Anda dan tim Anda. The more you practice your questioning skills, the more you'll be able to improve your team's thinking. The key thing here is that if they come up to us and then we give, we wear our Superman coats or Superwoman coats and then we give them the answer, they're going to keep coming to us with problems. So we need to help teach them to think and navigate through the uncertainty at the moment. Nobody knows what the right answer is. We just need to get people to the best guess scenario. The next key thing about leadership here would be teaching them how to adjust with speed. 71% of you are on the survival mode. The time span for decisions have become a lot shorter. You can't really plan for the quarter. You're probably looking at the month, the week, or even some companies are looking day by day. What this means is you can't afford to wait for all the information to be gathered before you decide. What you need to do is to get enough information to move and then adjust as you go. So then this, you're coming from, the tech startup field. You guys have done this all the time, even before the whole pandemic, where you had to adjust with speed. So can you share a little bit about your experience about leading a team to adjust with speed?
Yeah, thanks. So I guess yang bisa saya share adalah coba menggabungkan 3 poin ini. Kalau nggak kebiasaan Marvin sama saya nanti terus ngomongin ini jadi bisa setengah jam ngomongin slide ini doang. Karena
nafsu.
At this moment it's all about leadership memang. Unfortunately saya sudah berapa kali di posisi yang dimana harus menutup perusahaan abruptly atau memang karena memang tidak sanggup lagi dijalankan, dan juga di posisi di mana ada teman-teman yang memang bergabung karena sama visinya, meninggalkan pekerjaan mereka dan lain sebagainya. So as a leader di sini, leading up to adjusting with speed, speed is the essence of course. Tapi sebelum melakukan speed, kalau pengalaman saya adalah bagaimana kita start dengan communication, dan kata-kata yang muncul adalah, dan saran ya, my biggest tip or experience is to gather the team and to be, first of all, brutally honest. Sangat-sangat terbuka dan sangat-sangat jujur. Seringkali kita lupa bahwa our team also have the compassion and also the logic and the brightness that we always think as leaders, it's our job to 100% cover that area. I think what we need to do now is to invite them in, ask them to share our fear. They are also fearful. And by doing that, the team actually steps up and says, it's okay, we understand. Thank you for letting us in. Let's get through this together. As a leader, that opens up a lot of kelegaan ya. Kita lega, dan di situ we can start talking to everybody, dan mereka akan mengatakan, akan melihat kondisinya di mana mereka lebih dihargai saat ini. That's when I believe adjusting with speed can actually come in. Dan kita bilang, okay, kita berarti tinggal cash flow tinggal 3 minggu, cash flow tinggal 6 minggu. What do we do? What can we do with this? Jadi tidak ada lagi yang melihat, ini gara-gara lo nih semua kondisinya jadi kayak begini, segala macam. Jadi nggak ada yang tunjuk-tunjuk, semuanya merasa on the same boat. I think that's where I would start, and that's what will lead into adjusting with speed, Marvin.
Great, and I guess to additionally help with that, untuk menguatkan itu, it's really about having this attitude of the big picture and of abundance. Big picture meaning it's we instead of me, big picture meaning what is the impact of our decisions now in the future, dampaknya apa aja sih keputusan yang kita ambil sekarang di masa depan, and what is the impact of what I do in my department to the company in general. Jadi dampaknya apa sih dari keputusan yang saya ambil di departemen saya ke perusahaan secara umum. So being able to see the big picture is going to be key. And then this attitude of abundance, jadi kelimpahan, where believing that there is enough, there is enough business for all of us. If we don't have that attitude of abundance, there's no way you're going to find any solutions because you already believe it's not enough. Yeah, jadi this is the mindset that is required, and that's the job of a leader, is to make sure that the team is playing with it, with this big picture and abundance mindset.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we go now into the next point, which is management. So bedanya apa sih? What is the difference antara leadership and management? So management is a bit more logical. It is about alignment. And what do we want to align the team on is the priorities. Yeah. In order for them to be able to move forward at the same pace, they have to be looking at the same target. This is about clear direction, why we need to do what we do, and what are the priorities. Usually, I don't know, Dan, in your experience gimana, tapi kalau kita nanyain prioritasnya perusahaan apa, biasanya mereka prioritasnya ada 1.001. Iya kan?
Yeah.
What we advocate here is probably having one clear priority, maximum 3. Yeah, jadi, in a month, in a quarter, if you can just have one big priority with 3 major ones, you're good. That's a lot to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
In the good times, you can afford to have 4 or 5 main priorities, but right now, one, which is survival, most of you, just get enough money. That is a big enough priority to align people on. Yeah. So this is a big homework for you guys. If the team is not aligned, you need to sit down and get aligned. Have a chat with me, have a chat with Daniel, and see how we can help you guys get aligned at that point. The next thing adalah tentang focus. So apa sih? This is making sure that they're focused on the number one most important thing that will move us closer to that priority. This is a discipline that needs to be done on a daily basis, individually. Yeah, so we do daily huddles in my companies, and everybody has to make a commitment. What is the one thing they will be achieving in order to be able to get us closer to where we want to go? Okay. The next key discipline in management would be follow through. The ability to be able to do what we say we're going to do. Ya, jadi kalau di awal setiap minggu kita minta komitmennya setiap orang, dan di awal setiap hari kita minta komitmennya, we need to get the team to be able to hold themselves accountable and then hold each other accountable untuk bisa memastikan yang lainnya juga mau bekerja, bukan cuma dirinya sendiri aja. It's again, it's we, not me. How can we make sure that we are following through as a team? And then finally, we wrap this up with organizational discipline. Nah, di organizational discipline ini adalah gimana sih caranya kita bergerak bersama. So we talked about the communication before in leadership. Organizational discipline is about creating a framework on how the company works together. What report needs to be sent by when, who's preparing that report, what dashboards are we looking at, how often are we having a huddle, functional meetings and things like that. So making sure there's a schedule, making sure there's a key outcome set for each interaction, making sure there's an agenda and a script for each of those interactions will create a very strong organizational discipline.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dan, go ahead.
I know, I just can't iterate. Justru kondisi ini yang tadi disampaikan organization discipline, it summarizes everything yang the most important yang harus dilakukan sekarang. Kalau biasa kita manage seminggu sekali, I think at the moment it's probably daily check-ins is most important if we have agreed on what we're going to be doing. So this is where leadership-nya sudah di-install, hatinya sudah terbuka, kita bisa bicara secara jujur dengan seluruh tim, memungkinkan mereka menyampaikan masukan dan pandangan mereka, lalu di situ kita switch menjadi manager kembali untuk memutuskan, oke, pendapat A, B, dan C yang kita ambil. Dan habis itu install disiplin untuk mengejar beberapa hal itu. Dan for me, looking at this management slide is the toughest thing as a manager is to decide which ones to take and to say no to things. It's always hard to say no, but I think in a situation like that, it pushes us individually to become better managers, hopefully, dan bisa melihat bahwa, oke, kalau prioritas nomor 1 belum kita kerjakan, nomor 2, nomor 3 harus kita tunda. Dan balik lagi ke kejujuran, ya. Yang racunnya dalam kondisi adalah kita sebagai manajer selalu mengatakan kepada tim dan diri sendiri, tapi ini kan sayang, tapi ini kan, aduh sayang, ini gimana, udah sampai di sini, tapi I think the best way to do is cut it first, dan potong dengan pisau yang paling tajam, supaya kita bisa step back, regroup, dan revisit nanti at a better date. So that's how I feel when I remember the times about management in crisis.
Yeah, and the other thing as far as that organizational discipline, which ties to the communication, is I guess, allowing the space for people to communicate what they need. Everyone has some sort of challenge or something that's making them stuck each day. To be able to communicate that each day creates this squeaky wheel and to make sure that it gets the grease. Ya, jadi ada forum di mana orang-orang bisa menyampaikan tantangan apa yang mereka hadapi setiap harinya, butuh bantuan dari siapa dan kapan. Itu akan bantu memastikan tantangan-tantangan itu akan dihadapi lah bersama.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So at this point, we are going to allow you guys to sign up for a strategy session with me and Daniel. Jadi, if you feel that you'd be interested in having a chat with us to talk about your leadership practice and how you can manage your teams better and what are the opportunities for you, that we have updated an offer there. Please kindly just go to the website, which is leadershiprhythm.com/consultation, or it should be on your dashboard there. Just click the book now. We will try to accommodate. There's much more people than we anticipated. So we had pre-created some slots, but yeah, just try to sign in and we'll see what we can do to get you the help that you need. Okay, so leadership.com/consultation.
It's also on the chat.
It should also be on the chat.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Just to jump in a little bit, a bit of admin. So if anybody needs to ask a question, which we'll go to at the end, if you go to the chat, you can categorize your comment as a comment or as a question. So it makes it easier as we scroll through. if you mark it as a question, it will pop up here as a red button, and we can go through that later at the session. Thank you.
So again, kita agak santai di depannya, cenderung perlu ngebut sedikit di belakangnya. So we will open for question and answer until pretty much you guys are done. So jadi up until 12:30 or so, we're around to answer your questions. Jadi type your questions in, and then we'll go through them at the end of the webinar. Okay, so the next thing is the discipline. So Daniel, I'm sure you shared the 5 disciplines required. Yeah. So today kita akan menyentuh 2, which is business development and strategy. Business development, I'm going to go very fast. If you want more, again, sign up for a free session with us, or join our planning session where we will facilitate you creating and getting clarity and creating a plan for this. Now, kalau business development itself consists of 3 things, right? Business development consists of marketing, sales, and customer service. So today we're going to touch lightly on marketing, because this is probably one of the key things that you need to be doing right now, because a lot of people have stopped marketing. And this is the opportunity for you to generate the business that you require. Yang saya ingin ajak kalian melihat tentang marketing, untuk melihat peluangnya ada di mana, di sini adalah tentang 3 hal ini. Jadi yang pertama, untuk benar-benar mengerti core customers Anda. This is your ideal customer. Ya, yang kalian pengen dapat tipe customer seperti apa yang paling banyak. So the first thing that you guys need to be doing a bit of work on is the core customers. Getting clarity on who do you want more of, what type of people do you want more of, and understanding whether they have shifted, whether given the current crisis, is there a better core customer? Are there people that are buying right now? If your current core customer is not buying, you might need to look for a different core customer. Ya, jadi kita harus ada kejelasan apabila core customer kita yang dulu belum membeli, siapa nih yang akan membeli dari kita sekarang? Jadi apakah kalian butuh core customer yang baru? Ini hal yang kunci dari sini. So the next thing about the core customer itself adalah tentang their emotions and their needs. Jadi sekarang nih emosinya mereka apakah sudah bergeser? Kebutuhannya apakah sudah bergeser? Yeah, we need to be clear whether or not their needs or emotions have shifted. If they have, do we need to pivot our offering? Ya kan, kalau kebutuhannya udah berubah, apakah kita perlu mengubah penawaran yang kita berikan ke mereka? And that's how we adjust our brand promise. Yeah, so that's the logical flow. Jadi mengerti who the customer is, whether it's still the same or do we need a new customer base? And then understanding their needs, whether it's the old customer who has new needs or a new customer who has different types of needs. So, and then being able to create an offering with brand promises that matter to them. Yeah, so anything you would like to add here, Dan?
Just quickly, I think sangat-sangat penting kita tahu dan bertanya the right questions tadi di slide sebelumnya, kondisi apa yang dihadapi oleh klien. Sehingga we have 2 or 3 products yang on standby, karena ada banyak perusahaan-perusahaan yang at the moment lagi full speed ahead. Dan lowering your offering at the time like this may not be the right thing if that customer is actually moving full speed ahead. To identify tentang decision making process tentang kondisi saat ini atau tentang bisnisnya. Seringkali kalau kita dapat jawaban dari klien, mereka bilang, aduh lagi susahnya sekarang, lagi kayak gini, tapi nggak jelas juga mereka ngomongnya apa. Tapi kalau kita dig deeper, is your target still the same? And does the company believe that you can go through this without any gangguan? Iya, nggak berubah targetnya. So pembicaraannya kembali ke business as usual. Kecuali kalau mereka, we're going to shut down, we're going to let go people, belum clear, then we have to have a empathetic product than something that is basically caring for them to continue that relationship in this time. That's what I think.
Yeah. We have a simple classification that we use to understand our current customers better. This is mostly in the B2B sector, right? Kalau di B2B kita ada 4 kategori yang kita gunakan. So we look at companies that are bleeding right now. What kind of needs do they have, and do we have anything that we can help them? So we need to be able to adjust. The next thing are the companies that are slipping. Business is not as good as usual. We're kind of okay now, but it's not looking good if it stays for too long like this. And then there's businesses that are quite stable. And then ultimately, you're going to have businesses that are thriving in this economy, right? So being able to categorize your core customer, understanding their needs, allows you to then shape your promises better to them and create the offerings accordingly. So again, like I said, kita cuma mau nyentuh aja, we're just going to touch the discipline of business development. But this is a key thing that companies, especially in the survival mode, need to be spending time on. Sorry, Dan, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing. As we talk about business development at the start when you were offline just now, I just a little bit menyampaikan bahwa, lagi zaman gini lo ngomong business development. Actually, yang kita alami adalah business development can be reach out email, person to person, casual, how are you, check-in call, and actually asking the right questions. Jadi dari angle at the moment justru sangat penting untuk double or over communicate dengan your clients atau your customers to ask them questions yang berhubungan dengan how are you, what can we help with. I think that's the most. So that's what I think business development is if you're in a situation yang lagi survival atau kondisi yang lagi terpuruk.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately everything goes back down to when we're in a stress situation, we always go back to fundamentals.
Yeah.
It's not about what else we need to do or what new things we need to do. It's how well are we executing the basics. Jadi that's the mantra of all coaches. And then we're making sure that you guys are going back to basics and really creating a plan that is executable. So that is business development. There's obviously opportunities to improve your sales process and your customer service standards, but the key thing is you got to get that marketing thing right now. Okay, so the next one where we're going to spend a bit more time discussing is the strategy. Jadi out of the 5 disciplines, the 2 we're going to talk about. The second one is strategy, and strategy is about sustainability. How do we make sure the company lasts much longer than we do? Jadi di strategi ini tujuan kita adalah tentang sustainability untuk memastikan kelangsungan perusahaan ini jangka panjang. So ada 4 hal yang harus bisa kita perhatikan di strategi ini. So there's 4 things, 4 questions that we need to be able to get the answers to in our company. Number 1 is, what is the opportunity that we are going to go after? Jadi yang pertama adalah peluangnya apa sih yang kita benar-benar bisa kejar, bisa kita manfaatkan. If we take the time to understand the needs of our customers and studying the different types of customers, you'll be able to define that clear opportunity. If you do the research to define what is the size of the opportunity, you can decide which opportunity you want to go after. I had a few interesting conversations with some pro bono business owners and executives where they wanted to brainstorm some ideas with me. But I asked them just one question, and the answer is always the same. They always say, saya udah ajak ngobrol banyak orang. I've spoken to a lot of people, and we all think this is a great idea. And then I asked them the question, have you asked your potential customers? Have you asked your existing customers about these things? All of them say no. The opportunity, like Daniel said, comes from exploring and understanding the market and talking to the people. Talking to your potential markets. This is the best time to do focus discussion groups right now because everybody's open to it. And you can also create an emotional connection at this point. Jadi hanya dengan ngobrol aja dengan para prospek, customer, mantan customer, kita akan dapat insight tentang opportunity-nya ini apa, dan kita juga bisa meningkatkan keterikatan emosional antara kita dan mereka. So again, to then be able to communicate this in one sentence is going to be key. satu kalimat yang bisa menjelaskan opportunity-nya apa sih yang Anda kejar.
Justru paling penting sekarang ya. Extremely important. I think this part is the most important part of what we're sharing today.
Because this is also part of alignment. Ya kan yang tadi kita ngomongin. So how do you align the team if you can't communicate in one sentence? This is the opportunity we're going after. How can you define the priority if you can't communicate this? Gitu. So in our session nanti on Monday, so those of you that join that session, we'll take the time to really discuss this and help you refine your opportunity statement so that you can clearly communicate this to everyone and get everyone excited by it. Okay. The next thing adalah leverage. So leverage is definitionnya is quite simple. How do we maximize what we already have? Apakah ada product? Again, if we understand the customers, they've shifted. Maybe produk kita yang ada sekarang can be sold to a new type of customer. Different processes that we have can be tweaked a little bit to meet the needs of other people. But it's really understanding what do we currently have that we can take more advantage of during this situation. And the number one thing that I have seen, yang paling kunci di sini adalah other people's database. A lot of companies now are working with partners to help sell each other's product and stuff. And everybody has a database. The needs of their database may have shifted, but everybody has a network of other businesses that can fill the needs of that database. Everybody wants access to more leads, and this is one area of opportunity that usually people can tap into. The next thing is scalability. Now, I'm sure in your previous life then, being in the digital sector, everything was about scalability. It's how can you reach as many people as possible, and the simple definition for us in scalability adalah how can we make sure the next sale becomes cheaper and easier, right? So in the digital sector, everything is all about scale. If you talk to any investor, or I'm sure you've had pressures to scale up, how can we get more users and things like that. So the blessing that we currently all have is that we're being thrusted into the online and digital world. Right? And that we, like it or not, now can actually service more people. So, schools, for example, that in the past can only focus on students that live in a certain vicinity, now can offer education to the whole country. If you do it in English, you can offer education to the whole world. So a lot of us are forced to think about scalability in our business model at this time. So maybe Dan, we have a little bit of time. Any insights on scalability based on your experience in the digital world?
I think I would choose to bring it down to kondisi yang saat ini kita hadapi ya. Karena kalau normal times, scalability itu pembicaraan sehari-hari as we set our business plans. It's depending on how you're financing, then the appetite of the investment yang masuk, it's about, and I run companies yang tidak boleh ngomong revenue sama sekali, hanya boleh ngomong tentang growth. So at this moment, I prefer to break it down into very small time frames, di mana scalability di saat sekarang, di minggu ini atau 4 minggu ke depan, what does that mean to me and what does that mean to my customer? So if it often means to lower down and redefine what do we agree on success on the word scalability. Jadi scalability minggu ini, scalability minggu depan, dan itu semuanya harus akan di-reflect ke original plan, original quarterly plan, half year plan, and annual plan. Tapi there's no reason, because in the digital, you know that as much as you plan, it also comes back very quickly that it changes every other week. Jadi,
adjusting speed.
Jadi akhirnya kalau kita lihat sebetulnya mungkin pemikiran perusahaan-perusahaan yang digital sudah sangat agile untuk accept changes very quickly. So we don't think that's the wrong thing to do. It's already the right thing to do. Bring it down even one step closer, one step lower. Bahwa suksesnya itu diukur dalam batches which are very very small batches gitu sih. Aku lihat.
Excellent. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
And then so the final question that we need to be able to answer in terms of strategy is how marketable is our product or service? Ya kan, jadi pertanyaan kunci terakhir adalah seberapa marketable-nya produk atau jasa kita. And the definition of marketability is quite simply how easy is it for us to get in front of our core customer, and how easy is it for them to understand the benefits and why they should be buying from us. Yeah, so that's an area of homework to make sure that what we have is easy to market, and also there's demand for it. You know, if it's low marketability, you're going to have to invest a lot of time and money to educate your customers about that need. So again, understanding where we are, given our resources, given our core customer, will allow you to be able to answer this question better. Now, the key thing here then, after we've answered all those questions, is to be able to encapsulate it in one simple sentence, which is basically, call it a one-sentence strategy, so that everyone in your company will know how do we win. So as an alternative definition, I guess, for strategy is how do we win, right? So this is an example from a company called Southwest Airlines in the US. Again, the one-sentence strategy should not be your marketing tagline. It should be an internal mantra. It's an internal motto. This is so that everyone knows in your company, this is how we're going to win. And for Southwest Airlines, they have it in 2 words. It's wheels up. Ya, jadi sebuah one-sentence strategy adalah sebuah kalimat yang khusus untuk internal, bukan untuk customer. Ini memastikan semua orang ada penyelarasannya terhadap tujuan kita. So when we say wheels up in Southwest, it means, you know, what do we need to do to get planes on the air? We will win our game if the planes are flying and filled with people. So marketing needs to be thinking about how do we fill the planes up. Sales has to make sure that, you know, the leads that are coming in from marketing can sign up very quickly. Customer service, make sure the check-in process, the boarding and deboarding of the plane gets done very quickly. Maintenance, pilots, and everything all line up to make sure that the plane can be wheels up, right? So having this clarity based on answering all the 4 questions before will allow you to have an aligned team, will allow you to have an excited team to work together on this goal. Right? So this is the big thing that a lot of companies neglect to do, but it's also like a huge thing that will allow you to win. If you know how you're going to win, then you can win. If you don't know how you're going to win, you're playing 1,000 different games in your company. Okay, so at this point, that's, you know, strategy, opportunity, leverage, scalability, and marketability. So I would like to do another poll, Dan, if I may, just to have a check-in on people here on where do you guys think is your main area of potential improvement? Is it in leadership? Is it improving your management? Is it in business development or strategy? So the poll should be up. I'd love to see some answers there. You can hear me okay, right, Ed? I've lost your audio.
Sorry, I was in mute because tadi azan di belakang.
Okay. Okay.
I was just saying we'll get back to questions from Mas Bo and Mbak Vanessa at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, poll's coming up now. Sorry, Vanessa. Thank you very much for letting us know. So the poll is up.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is a new toy for us, so we're trying it out.
Yeah. So because the last time we had 160 people register and we could only do 100 on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I think the format was much better where this is a webinar, specifically a webinar platform, which works best for multiple speakers and things like that as well. So
great. So we'll show you the results at the end of this. But basically right now, most of you are saying strategy.
Strategy.
The main area. and then
57%.
the rest are equal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'll end the poll with, yeah, we should be able to see this. Can you guys see the result? All right. Anyway,
Okay.
so we're going to move on. So strategy is all about sustainability. Business development is all about predictability. So these are the two magic words that we need to be thinking about right now, especially in survival mode, which is, sustainability and predictability. So again, those of you that really need to make a plan or need to sit down and think, how do you get out of this? I highly advise you guys to come and join us. So the disciplines will help us in terms of creating a great business that is achieving ultimate optimal success by being sustainable, predictable, stable, consistent, and has an emotional connection. So again, we define a great business as one that is adding zeros and satisfying the 5 constituents that Daniel, I'm sure, talked about before. So going back to the chart, you're looking at the strategy for sustainability, which is all about opportunity, leverage, scalability, and marketability. And then business development is all about marketing, sales, and customer service. And then people is all about leadership, talent development, and recruitment. Execution is all about process management, financial controls. Mission is about creating that emotional connection through values, purpose, and giving back. So these are the things that, every business owner, every executive need to be thinking about. Everybody on the highest level of the company need to be aligned on these things and then cascading it down to make sure that the organization is moving as one, not just as, different groups with different silos and sense of importance, right?
I think if you look at the chart, Marvin, is what we touched on is the business development part and the strategy part, just 2 of the 5 disciplines. And this is why in this short time span of this webinar, we can just give you a little bit of what we believe is most important right now to tackle your current situation. And we haven't even talked about how business development and strategy intersects and what that means for the company, or moving on to mission and people and how that intersects as well. So we'll be happy to do that in private sessions, or you can join our workshop coming up next week.
Yes. So again, speaking of which, you guys got to be clear what you're going to be committing to, and just having that priority, making sure everyone's prioritized and heads pointed in the right direction.
Right direction, correct.
Yeah. So as we said, to wrap up, we were going to cover about leadership and management. We have some questions there already. Please add some more questions, guys, and we will address it during the Q&A. And then we talked about the disciplines needed right now, which was business development and strategy. And then we'll go deeper about the opportunities to learn more. So for you guys, once again, you can sign up for a free session with us. So here's the link. I'm publishing it now. It should be in the chat. And the website, once again, is leadershiprhythm.com/consultation. Give us your email and your name there, and we will get back to you with a few options of times that will work. Obviously, next week we're going to be a bit tied up on the workshop that we're giving, but just sign up. We'll make sure that we'll get to you guys. If it's super urgent, let us know, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Okay. So the next thing is basically, can you move? Yeah, here we
our
go.
Workshop.
Our workshop. So on Monday until Wednesday, we are going to be facilitating you guys to work on your strategic plan. So we call it strategic thinking and execution planning session, because you will be doing a lot of thinking. This is a business is an intellectual sport, so we're going to facilitate your brain muscles working out over the next 3 days, and then we'll help you put it into a very actionable plan. The format itself, it's not really a full day, right, Dan? I mean, we're going from about 10 o'clock, 9:30.
And 9:45 we start, and we're going to be doing sprints of 50 minutes, 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and then we're going to end the day at 3 o'clock for each day. Jadi from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we do these bursts.
And this is for teams of 2. So you guys can come in together, 2 people. So you can discuss, and then you'll have time to think and come up with ideas, and then you can bounce those ideas off of Daniel and I during the session, and we can get you to where you need to go.
Yeah.
So the investment for this is usually 30 million for 2 people. We have a special for you today. So I'll tell you a little bit more about the special offer. So what will we be doing? So we'll give you clarity as to where you are now and where you have the opportunities to grow, or for a lot of you, to make enough money to get you through this period. The next thing is to learn about the best practices of high growth companies. What are they doing right now? How have they changed? What's working in the best of times? What are they trying now? What's working now for them? We'll help you create your strategic plan, and we'll help you align your leadership team, because it's not just you, it's going to be you and somebody else in your company. Okay.
And you can bring along some of other people as well. You can bring along your team as well.
If you want to add more people, we're flexible. We'll give you a deal on that one per head, basically. Again, the investment is 30 million for 2 people. So what do you actually get? So 3 days. So the value is, normally we do it for 39. Online, we've been doing it for 30. You get a private coaching session with us at the end of that session. So we'll go over your plan with you to make sure that you can implement the plan properly. You'll have a 5 disciplines assessment, so you get clarity, so you and your leaders can take this assessment, and you get a picture of where you guys are right now and what you could do to improve. You get a cash flow analysis. So again, this is dependent on your financial data. You give us the information, we'll give you a report, we'll tell you a lot of different things about your business and what are the opportunities again. So like, for example, we'll do a sensitivity analysis. What would happen if you increase your price by 1% for your cash flow and things like that. The third one would be leadership assessment, understanding your behavior and using that report to then be able to lead and manage your team better, because then you understand them better and what you need to do to adjust. So the total value of this program is 76,500,000, and like I said, we're giving to you for 30. If you sign up, actually, the deal was, we're going to say, if you sign up today, we're going to give you 23 million. But since a lot of you are on survival mode, Dan, so I don't know, you're going to be okay with it, but I'm going to say it now.
Definitely.
If you guys sign up right now, so we'll give you about, I guess, if you sign up right now, we'll give it to you for 15 million net. Just to make sure that you guys get through this okay. Right. So please sign up now. Put an indication. Just say, I was here at Marvin's session, and I want that deal. And I'll make sure the administration team knows that if you guys sign up from this session, you can do it for 15 million. Okay. So anything to add about this event, Dan?
No, I think that's us just really trying to be as much approachable and available to anybody in the situation like this. So please make use of the special offer.
Yeah, and again, we can only take probably about 15 to 20 companies max, because given the time, we're going to need to have enough dedicated conversation with you guys. So first come, first serve on this.
Yes.
Shall we go through questions now? And
okay.
You guys, if you want to have additional questions, please type in the chat box. We will get to your questions.
Yeah, great. So thanks. So we're going to be hanging out here for another half an hour. It's around 12:30, and we have 2 questions already. Please type in, and please mark your question there. There's a chat mode or question mode. Just mark it as a question so it's easier for everybody to see as well. I'll start with Vanessa. Thanks for the question. It's can you give an example of opportunity statement?
I'll give you mine.
Okay.
It's very simple. I work with CEOs and executives. I provide clarity to CEOs and executives in order for them to be able to lead and manage their businesses better, so that they can add a positive contribution to the world. So really, my target market is encapsulated there. It's CEOs, executives.
Yeah.
What I do for them is providing clarity on how to lead and manage their business better.
Yeah.
So it's a simple sentence that everybody in my company knows. That is the opportunity that we're going after with Marvin as the product of the company.
Okay. So actually, I touched on mine as well, which is a little bit more different because I tend to work more with digital teams. And what comes across is how I describe my opportunity statement is excite and inspire business leaders and teams to think beyond. I think I'm very much into this digital transformation thing. And so I always lead back to each team, each leader being able to disrupt themselves. So that falls into keep disrupting themselves and play an infinite game. Something that I've also learned from Simon Sinek, a great leader, and teaching us how we should be thinking, especially at these times and with the younger generation. The finite game and infinite game is two separate things, and I like the concept of the infinite game. Jadi nggak gabrak gubruk gitu ya. Your mission is something that you have defined. You will die doing.
Yeah.
You will not reach it, but you will die doing. And then I guess what we actually use to define these mission, these opportunity statements is we add on this word supaya or so that. Yeah, Marvin. Yeah.
So and that ties it into that mission, right? The emotional.
So when we put it together, so that everyone becomes better, safer, more enabled, and more powerful. So that's my example, adding up to what Marvin has just said.
Yeah, there's a follow-up question from Vanessa, which is, can you have more than one opportunity statement? Ideally not, Vanessa. The multiple products should fit. The opportunity should be supported by the multiple products. So again, I'll use myself as a simple example. I have multiple services and products that I offer to people. But the opportunity I'm going after is providing clarity to this target market. So I provide clarity through product A, which is coaching, product B, which is assessments, and everything is around that opportunity. So on your case, I would say the opportunity would be around your target market and helping them to achieve something.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to question dari Bo. Can I say that using other people's database is collaboration? Therefore, it's not restricted only the database. It could be other collabs. I agree in one way, but I think that's just one part of how we collaborate on database. So I believe as long as after we agree how we want to collaborate with an external party, we want to make sure that our discussion and on an agreement on how to use that should always put the customer first, because it's very sensitive, because there's privacy issues, and the last thing that you want to do is customer-nya merasa bahwa database gue dijual gini ya. Jadi misalnya akhirnya kalimatnya keluarnya seperti, hey, kita dalam kondisi ini berkolaborasi dengan pihak lain, pihak ketiga. Dan dengan kita bisa berkolaborasi dengan pihak ketiga, akhirnya kita bisa menawarkan sesuatu yang lebih menarik, lebih valuable. Yuk, ikutan yuk. Karena sekarang kita bisa menawarkan B, C, D yang dulu hanya kita bisa menawarkan A. If it comes across like that, I think it will, at times like this, it will be actually extremely special to the customer. So it's actually you showing that you actually are caring and you are really working hard to reach out to other people to offer something more special than you usually would. So that's you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'm guessing this links to the discipline of leverage. From discipline of strategy on the leverage point. Here is about, I think the point of leverage here is two things. Number one is your database. So you've bought the customer, you've acquired the customer, there's a cost of acquisition for it. You want to be able to increase the number of times they can purchase from you. So by making additional offers to them, which happens to be other people's product or service, you're now using that more than once. Yeah, so that's in itself is a point of leverage. The other point to your, if I understand your thing correctly here, Boa, is that you're now leveraging your network, your connection. So your network and your connection is a point of leverage. What else can we do with them? You've worked hard to secure them as a that's a valid point of leverage for your business. So strategic alliance partners and things like that. Not just selling products, but it could be, for example, co-hosting webinars, running events together and things like that. I hope that helps. Should we go to the next question then?
Okay, just came in. Sebastian Pratama. If the leadership already bit sinking and amped, might be confused. Okay.
Employees.
Employees, yeah, sorry. Worry maybe losing their job, demotivated. How to make a comeback from a situation? What does it take? Okay. So
our favorite 2 words, Daniel, that needs to be said.
Yeah, well, please just take this in and just langsung praktekan. Brutally honest.
Yes.
Brutally honest.
Please share what that means.
Okay, so I kind of alluded on it earlier today by saying kalau mau bunuh hewan korban pakai pisau yang paling tajam, ya. Break the news with total brutal honesty and what it means to business, what it means to you, what it means to everybody in the company. Mention timelines. Like, guys, we have 6 weeks left of cash flow. Sit down and let it sink. What it means is to announce that as a leader and share your fear and let them also become leaders by themselves, because they also are people who are bright, they have a heart, and they also are with you because they trust and they love you as well. That's the hardest thing for us as leaders, to always forget bahwa mereka sebetulnya akan balik ke kita, Pak, thank you very much, yuk kita bantu sama-sama. I'm going to be okay. Kalau memang itu yang akan justru keluar dari mereka. Walaupun masing-masing akan menghadapi kondisi yang sama-sama berat, tapi that gives them permission to go home and talk to their spouse or partner and say, hey, di kantor udah gak ada harapan. Kita bisa ngapain ya? Before we actually say that brutal honesty, they don't have this conversation at home. They still live in a dream di mana we're gonna be okay, kata si bos okay kok, nggak ada masalah segala macam, sehingga mereka nggak move on. So look at it as us actually doing everybody a favor, but again doing it nicely and with heart, supaya mereka benar-benar lihat bahwa kita pun have their kepentingan di depan kepentingan kita sendiri.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about brutal honesty, other than the facts yang Daniel was talking about, you also have to be brutally honest about your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the time. Well, every time is the time, but even more so now, for us as a leader to be vulnerable. Yeah, we don't need to pretend to be better than we are, or So if you don't know the answer, you tell the team, I don't know the answer. Yeah. Let's think about it together. Right? So it's not your job as the owner, as the CEO, to be the one that comes up with the answer. It's your job to facilitate the team to come up with an answer together.
Yeah.
So, I would say that the first thing is be honest about where the company is at and where you are as a leader, and keep that honesty going.
I think it goes back to the first part when we talk about leadership and management. You touched that, you made it very clear. So our job is to make sure that our teams can do their jobs. So that's what our job is. The managers, if you think like a manager only, then it becomes, how do you push down the work that you're supposed to do, which is not really inspiring. Yeah. So at this moment, as Marvin said, as leaders, it's our job to them and invite them in so that they can actually do the things that they need to do, which includes talking to their teams, talking to their families, giving them permission to actually come back to us with initiatives or ideas that we may not be thinking of, because there's many other things that we are thinking of as well, for sure. Invite them in so they can actually be more open and feel that they are contributing. That's most important moment. Okay.
Right. And then, once you get their heart, once everybody's together as a team, then you can start thinking logically and think, okay, what do we need to do today?
Yeah.
What do we need to do today to make sure we add another week to the cash flow, another month to the cash flow, and things like that?
Yeah. Actually, I've been seeing these nonton berita di news ya, dan karena saya pernah di 2 perusahaan airline, and I actually applauded waktu pertama kali. I think it was Sir Richard Branson yang pertama kali ngomong bahwa Virgin Atlantic, I think Virgin di Australia apa ya? I forgot. So Virgin is having problems. We might actually have to shut down. This was early, like 3-4 weeks ago. So that's what I believe what a leader should be able to do, to actually announce that first. Once it's announced and everybody can actually take stock and then mentally get prepared for the next step, then you can start talking about what should we do today. If we don't actually open up and ngakuin posisinya gimana, the team cannot think of what needs to be done today. They'll be hanging on something which is actually crumbling. Itu sih. Okay.
Cool. I hope that helps, Sebastianos.
Okay. So, ada pertanyaan dari Mas Hadid Alam. During this pandemic, we don't have enough cash to keep our team members. What ESOP could be an option, and whether the workshop offer can be exchanged with our shares. Are you interested with the shares, Pak Marvin?
No, I don't do that.
I think we all are in the same situation, in the sense
if
that's
cash
why
is really tight, come and have a chat with us and see what we can do to help you. That's
correct. So the help part of trying to help your teams is definitely going to be there all the time. Yeah, so let's not discuss in that. I mean, I think we are different discussions, and that's why I schedule a call and see how we can help you guys. Gitu.
There's a point about the we don't have enough cash to keep our team member. What ESOP would be an option? What does ESOP mean?
I think it's employee stock option program. I think,
okay.
Yeah. So I don't think the approach with an ESOP program would be something clear at this moment. Although the intention, I can understand the intention is, okay, like guys, kita cashnya susah. Kalian sudah berkontribusi banyak. Sebagai gesture as a founder or a business owner, saya sebetulnya ingin bisa meretain kalian dan menunjukkan keseriusan saya terhadap your commitment. Saya mengundang kalian menjadi bagian dari perusahaan saya. Kalau di situ adalah equity, sangat berbeda sama ESOP. So I think ESOP is two different things, di mana because at the end of the day it becomes very complicated karena mungkin pegawai yang diajak menjadi pemilik ESOP pada akhirnya nanti mereka pada saat mau menguangkan itu juga technically have to buy the shares at a lower rate. Dan it gets complicated, dimana wah lo niatnya lo ngasih ke gue waktu lo susah dulu, begitu gue mesti udah lebih bagus, gue nggak ngerti nih model kayak gini. Unless it's crystal clear what ESOP is and what they actually need to do to exercise their rights as a stock option owner, I think a more honest gesture of even maybe I don't know, equity is very very scarce and sayang ini banget, hati-hati banget, but there's probably some other ways to actually retain them.
Yeah, and I think again understand the needs of the employees. My guess right now, most of them need cash, as opposed to equity.
Yeah.
So I don't know how motivating or how exciting that would be for a lot of your employees.
Okay. I was
again having that understanding and conversation and being brutally transparent will allow you to come up with an answer to that.
I was talking to a friend who runs a group of advertising, boutique advertising agencies. And one thing that came out of this pro bono sessions that we're doing as well is the advice that, hey, you guys have a specific skill. Why don't you facilitate officially within your company permission for everybody to do side jobs, right? Because people still need copywriters, editors and stuff like that. And small businesses need that more. Actually extend the company software and the capability to help these initiatives, but let them be able to enable them and give them the power to actually go out and say, hey, I can do that design for you, and it will be much cheaper at this moment. I will charge you this, but I'll be transparent with my company. And we actually facilitate that that. And that was actually very appreciated, and they're going to roll out and empowering tim member mereka untuk menjadi orang yang resourceful dalam keadaan seperti ini. Anything yang bisa membantu mereka mendapatkan cash tambahan yang dulu kita nggak izinkan, sekarang justru kita izinkan. Just, yeah.
Okay. So Hadid, semoga terjawab. Hopefully that helps. I guess we're out of questions then.
Iya, oke.
Ya sudah. So guys, kalau nggak ada pertanyaan lagi, maybe we will wrap this up by saying thank you very much for your attention. A lot of people have signed up for the consultations. Some have signed up for the workshop. So please make sure you take advantage of the opportunity that we're offering you now. We will be sending you an email with the relevant links. Again, we'll also be sending you a replay of this webinar. So make sure that you take the opportunity to learn and above all, I think, apply the key things that you got from us and actually just use it to run in your business.
I wanted to add just one more thing, which goes back to your single strategy, one sentence, Marvin. Tadi kan ngomong tentang itu apa namanya, Southwest Wheels Up. Dan tadi pas Marvin tadi you're sharing that when we're talking about a day-to-day strategy, what pop up to my mind is like playing a football game. Mungkin lebih dimana, strategi kita menghadapi lawan yang sekarang adalah front load ya. All the goals must come within the first 15 minutes. Abis itu kita defense. Nah, that is what we mean by the one sentence strategy from what our coach will be able to give you clarity on. That's just an example. And that's why we're trying our best to make ourselves available and make this program available, and to be able to handhold you to come to some certain clarity that brings you down to that specific, actionable one sentence strategy that you can actually implement very quickly. So we really would like for you to actually be able to reach that stage and pick up again when the skies are brighter.
Great.
Begitu.
Okay, guys, kalau gitu, we're gonna end the webinar. See you next time.